Hello, I'm Essay, your AI essayist. Please note that all content, audio and video in this presentation are AI generated. As AI can sometimes produce inaccuracies, I encourage you to verify any factual information presented. With that in mind, let's begin.
In the annals of nuclear physics, the year 1938 marks a watershed moment, etched indelibly into the scientific landscape by a correspondence published in Nature titled Disintegration of Uranium by Neutrons, a New Type of Nuclear Reaction, authored by Lise Meitner and Otto Frisch. This comparatively succinct communication, appearing a mere month after experimental observations, irrevocably altered our comprehension of the atomic nucleus, introducing the revolutionary concept of nuclear fission. Its significance extends far beyond a mere incremental advancement. It represents a paradigm shift, unlocking a previously unimagined realm of energy and forever changing the course of scientific inquiry and global geopolitics. Understanding that genesis of this groundbreaking work requires traversing the intellectual terrain leading to its precipice, examining the contributions of predecessors, and meticulously dissecting the scientific environment in which this monumental discovery took root. The narrative begins in the 1950s, a period characterized by intense investigation into the nature of the atomic nucleus and the phenomena of radioactivity. Enrico Fermi, in Rome, spearheaded investigations involving the bombardment of various elements with neutrons, particles discovered only a few years prior by James Chadwick in 1932. Fermi's group, employing a systematic approach, observed that neutron irradiation frequently resulted in the transmutation of target nuclei, producing new isotopes, some of which exhibited artificial radioactivity. Their experiments with uranium, the heaviest known element at the time, yielded perplexing results. The expectation was that neutron capture by uranium would lead to the formation of transuranic elements heavier than uranium, expanding the periodic table beyond its natural boundaries. Fermi and his collaborators identified several radioactive products from the neutron bombardment of uranium, attributing them to the creation of these novel transuranic elements. This interpretation, while seemingly logical given the prevailing scientific understanding, ultimately proved to be erroneous. However, the scientific community, including Otto Hahn and Lise Meitner in Berlin, found the interpretation of Fermi's results problematic. Hahn and Meitner, along with the chemist Fritz Strassmann, embarked on a series of meticulous experiments designed to identify and characterize the purported transuranic elements produced by neutron bombardment of uranium. Meitner, a physicist with extensive experience in radioactivity, brought her rigorous experimental approach to bear on the problem, while Hahn, a renowned radiochemist, provided expertise in the separation and identification of radioactive isotopes. Strassmann contributed his analytical chemistry skills. For several years, the trio painstakingly investigated the complex mixture of radioactive products. The intellectual debt owed to earlier researchers is substantial. Ernest Rutherford's pioneering work on nuclear transmutation, demonstrating the possibility of altering the atomic nucleus, provided a crucial foundation. The discovery of the neutron by Chadwick offered a new projectile for nuclear investigations, devoid of electrical charge and capable of penetrating the nucleus more easily than charged alpha particles. Fermi's experiments with neutron bombardment laid the experimental groundwork, even though his interpretation of the results was eventually proven incorrect. The precise measurements of atomic masses, by Francis Aston using mass spectrometry, were essential for evaluating the energy balance in nuclear reactions. The turning point arrived in December 1938. Hahn and Strassmann, continuing the experiments after Meitner's forced emigration from Germany due to the escalating persecution of Jews by the Nazi regime, made an astonishing discovery. They found definitive evidence of barium, an element significantly lighter than uranium, among the products of neutron irradiation. Previously, they had seen what they thought was radium, which they expected to be an alpha decay product of uranium after neutron capture, and two beta decays. Standard radiochemical separation techniques were used to try and isolate the radium, using barium salts as a carrier. By separating the barium, they hoped to separate the radium from it. Much to their surprise, however, they could not separate the supposed radium from the barium carrier. The only conclusion they could draw was that the substance they had believed to be radium was in fact barium. This finding was profoundly unsettling. The prevailing understanding of nuclear physics held that nuclear transformations involved only small changes in atomic number and mass, a process in which uranium nucleus split into barium, with an atomic number significantly lower than that of uranium, appeared utterly inexplicable. Hahn, deeply perplexed by this result, communicated his findings to Meitner, who was in exile in Meitner, in collaboration with her nephew, Otto Frisch, a physicist working in Niels Bohr's laboratory in Copenhagen, grappled with the implications of Hahn's experimental results. During a Christmas holiday visit near Kungälv, Sweden, They engaged in intense discussions, attempting to find a theoretical framework that could accommodate the seemingly impossible observation. It was during a walk in the snow that the crucial insight emerged. Meitner, recalling Bohr's liquid drop model of the nucleus, realized that the uranium nucleus, under neutron bombardment, might behave like an unstable liquid drop, undergoing deformation and ultimately splitting into two smaller fragments. Frisch, applying his knowledge of nuclear physics, calculated the energy released in such a process, employing the Einsteinian mass-energy equivalence, E = mc squared, where E represents energy, m represents mass, and c represents the speed of light. His calculations revealed that the fission of a uranium nucleus would liberate a substantial amount of energy, far exceeding that of any previously observed nuclear reaction. This energy release arose from the fact that the combined mass of the fission fragments, such as barium and krypton, would be slightly less than the mass of the original uranium nucleus, with the difference manifesting as kinetic energy of the fragments. Meitner and Frisch, recognizing the profound significance of their interpretation, promptly drafted their communication to Nature. In their letter, they proposed the concept of nuclear fission, drawing an analogy to the biological process of cell division. They calculated the energy released in the fission of uranium, estimating it to be approximately 200 million electron volts, a figure that aligned remarkably well with subsequent experimental measurements. The publication of their paper in January 1939 sent shockwaves through the scientific community. The news of nuclear fission spread rapidly, galvanizing physicists around the world to undertake experiments to confirm and extend Meitner and Frisch's groundbreaking discovery. The immediate impact of the discovery of nuclear fission was immense. Within weeks, numerous laboratories had replicated Hahn and Strassmann's experiments and confirmed the release of vast amounts of energy. Frédéric Joliot-Curie and his team in Paris demonstrated that fission also released additional neutrons, raising the possibility of a self-sustaining chain reaction. This realization ignited intense interest in the potential for harnessing nuclear fission for both energy production and weapon development. The subsequent evolution of nuclear physics was profoundly shaped by Meitner and Frisch's work. The discovery of nuclear fission paved the way for the development of nuclear reactors, which utilize controlled chain reactions to generate electricity. The Manhattan Project, initiated during World War I, harnessed the principles of nuclear fission to create the first atomic bombs. The development of nuclear weapons ushered in the nuclear age, forever altering the geopolitical landscape and raising profound ethical concerns. The discovery of nuclear fission had a profound impact on other areas of science as well. It stimulated research in nuclear chemistry, leading to the development of methods for separating and isolating radioactive isotopes. It advanced our understanding of nuclear structure and nuclear forces. It provided new tools for medical diagnosis and treatment through the use of radioactive isotopes in imaging and therapy. The reception of Meitner and Frisch's work was largely enthusiastic, although some skepticism initially existed regarding the magnitude of the energy release. Bohr, upon learning of the discovery, famously exclaimed, "What idiots we have been! We ought to have seen that before." The experimental confirmation of fission and the subsequent development of chain reactions rapidly dispelled any lingering doubts, while Meitner and Frisch's interpretation of Hahn and Strassmann's experimental results was quickly accepted. The recognition for their contribution was uneven. Hahn was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1944 for the discovery of nuclear fission, a decision that has been widely criticized for failing to acknowledge Meitner's crucial role. Meitner, despite her extensive contributions to the discovery and her theoretical interpretation of the phenomenon, was overlooked by the Nobel Committee. This omission has been attributed to a combination of factors, including her forced emigration from Germany, her complex political climate of the direct influence of Meitner and Frisch's work on subsequent scientists is undeniable. Enrico Fermi, who initially misinterpreted his own experimental results, immediately recognized the significance of their discovery and played a key role in promoting research on nuclear fission in the United States. Leo Szilard, another physicist who grasped the potential of chain reactions, drafted a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, warning of the possibility of nuclear weapons, a letter that was signed by Albert Einstein and that ultimately led to the establishment of the Manhattan Project. In conclusion, disintegration of uranium by neutrons, a new type of nuclear reaction, stands as a towering achievement in the history of nuclear physics. Meitner and Frisch's insightful interpretation of Hahn and Strassmann's experimental results, combined with their theoretical understanding of nuclear processes, revolutionized our comprehension of the atomic nucleus and unlocked a new era of scientific inquiry and technological development. Their work serves as a testament to the power of collaboration, the importance of rigorous scientific investigation, and the enduring legacy of those who dare to challenge conventional wisdom. The profound irony lies in the fact that a discovery born from fundamental scientific curiosity ultimately unleashed both the promise of limitless energy and the spectre of nuclear annihilation, a duality that continues to shape our world today. The omission of Lise Meitner's name from the Nobel Prize remains a stark reminder of the biases that can permeate even the most objective of institutions, though her contribution endures as a beacon of scientific brilliance and intellectual courage.
We really appreciate you tuning in to this AI-powered presentation. Our goal is to push the boundaries of AI in content creation, and your input is invaluable. If there's a particular subject you'd like to see us tackle next, or if you have suggestions on how we could fine-tune our AI's creative prompts, please don't hesitate to leave your ideas in the comments section. We're excited to bring you more unique content very soon.